Who is our number 6 Prime Minister? Dato Sri Haji Muhammad Najib bin Tun Haji Abdul Razak was also known as Najib Razak. On the other hand, Najib Razak was born in Kuala Lumpur, Pahang during July 23, 1953. He was a former Malaysia Prime Minister who is the number 6 Prime Minister of Malaysia. Najib Razak worked as the Prime Minister of Malaysia since 2009 until he was defeated in the general election of 2018. Besides that, Najib Razak was the former president of the party which is called as the United Malay National Organisation, which is called UMNO. The UMNO party was the guiding party in Barisan Nasional, BN. BN was in power and having authority in Malaysia government operation for more than 60 years until the Barisan Nasional was defeated in general election of 2018 by the opposite party which is called Pakatan Harapan. Furthermore, currently Najib Razak was also the former finance minister of Malaysia and has no longer authority in government operation. In addition, Najib Razak's father was Abdul Hussein, who is served as the 20th Prime Minister of Malaysia. And the mother of Najib Razak was Rahanoa, who is the wife of Abdul Hussein. Najib Razak was complete his education in United Kingdom and achieved a degree in economics at the University of Nottingham. After earning an industrial economic degree from University of Nottingham in the UK, Najib returned to Malaysia in 1974 and worked for state oil firm Petronas. His father suddenly died 2 years later and left a parliamentary seat vacant, and so Najib Razak can enter the politics. Aged 23, he became the youngest MP in Malaysia history and quickly rose to prominence. He held numerous cabinet posts including energy, telecommunication, education, finance and defence before becoming a deputy prime minister to Abdullah Badawi in 2004. According to the Malaysian government, Najib has long association in politics and government at service. Following his unopposed victory as Member of Parliament in 1976, Najib was appointed Deputy Minister of Energy, Telecommunication and Posts. He has also served as Deputy Education and Deputy Finance Minister. In the 1982 general election has stood in the state seat of Bandar Pekan and was subsequently appointed Menteri Besar of Pahang until 1986. Following the general election in 1986, where he recontested and won the parliamentary seat of Pekan, Najib was appointed Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport. Under his stewardship, Malaysia made its best ever showing in the SEA Games, where the country came out on top in the medal tally for the first time in the history of the game. He also introduced the National Sport Policy, which outlined the development and sport in the country and introduced monetary incentive for the Malaysian athletes who won a medal at the Olympic Games. In the 2004 general election, Najib won his parliamentary seat with a massive 2,922 majority just months after being appointed Deputy Prime Minister. It was one of the election's greatest majorities. In the 2008 general election, Najib was re-elected to the Pekan parliamentary seat with a majority of 26,464 votes. Despite a decline in overall support for the coalition government in the general election, Barisan Nasional won the greatest majority. He was Defence Minister until September 2008 when he took over as Finance Minister. A general election was held in Malaysia on March 8, 2008 in accordance with Malaysian election law, which stipulates that a general election must be held no later than 5 years after last election. The previous general election was held in 2004 on February 13, 2008. Malaysia Parliament was dissolved and the Election Commission stated the next day that nomination would be placed on February 2024. Finally, Najib Razak was elected leader of his party in November 2008 and making his appointment as a Prime Minister in April 2009 very successful. He was elected without opposition after receiving support from 138 UMNO branches. Candidates must obtain the endorsement of at least 55 of the party and 191 branches to run for office. The Malaysian government exert under Najib leadership. Malaysia has begun a transformational mission from a multiracial and multi-religious standpoint. The cornerstone is his One Malaysia initiative, which emphasizes national unification. Najib has also launched a government transformation program and aimed at improving the quality and efficiency of public service as well as increasing government efficiency and opens. Moreover, key performance indicators are used to analyze the performance of government agency, while national key result areas are used to set goals for specific areas of public policy. He also created a new cabinet position to help the Minister of Unity and the performance with the KPI system implementation. In order to move the country forward, Najib offers a new economic model with reform ideas to create a marketing environment that is conducive to economic growth, development and investment.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuri Piramida binti Muhammad Asri, and I will talk about the new economic model that launched by our Prime Ministers at that time, Dato Najib dan Razak. So on March 2010, Najib have launched the new economic model that priority to address the income gap and reduce the poverty without counting race. This transformation program would be based on 8 strategic reform initiative. The first is Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuri binti Muhammad Asri, and I will talk about new economic model that launched by Dato Najib dan Razak at that time on March 20, 2010. So this program priority to address the income gap and reduce the poverty without counting race. To be concluded, this transformation program will be based on 8 strategic reform initiative, which are follows. So number 1 is re-energizing the private sector to drive growth. Number 2, to develop the quality workforce and reducing the reliance on foreign labor. So number 3 is creating the competitive domestic economy. Number 4, to strengthen the public sector. Number 5, transparent and market friendly affirmative actions. So number 6, to build the knowledge based on infrastructures. Number 7, to enhance growth of source. Number 8, to ensuring the sustainability of growth. So these goals empathize no capacity building, only developments of the nation merely as a measure achieving sustainability development. So the majority of initiatives have been created are related to all the important factors in the economic direction of the country. So to be concluded, the basis of the economy is also actually socialist idea. It because of this problem are considered to be created by the capitalists to make their free market system. So they are actually include the exploitation of the working class and the huge gap between rich and poor. So the new economic policy, even they said they are succeed to addressing the gap between the race, and if in an effort to develop the social economy of Bumi Putra. But the new economic policy are focused on industry. So at that time, labor costs were low toward 2020. Even though not at that time, our Prime Minister Dato Sri Najib Razak have lots of initiative that he planned until 2050, but for me, Dato Sri Najib Razak are trying to bring a political instability. It will be impact business directly. So try imagine how to run a business if the situation in our country is chaotic. New economic policy, then they only the investor will make decision either to pump our money or to withdraw their money from Malaysia. But the problem is when Dato Sri Najib Razak have scandal about MDB, so the investor don't have any confidence to invest to our country. So then the new economic model that he bought, it actually not really succeed for me. But yeah, that is my opinion. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurhanis, and today's topic will be about the NBOS, which stands for National Blue Ocean Strategy or Strategi Lautan Biru. Professor W. Chan Kim and Rini Marlbrook established an inspired Blue Ocean Strategy (BOS) which offer an innovative and systematic approach to developing plans in both public and private sector. MBOS projects are designed and chosen two important principles, which is number one, producing a high level of revenue by economic development and integration. Second is increasing public pleasure and by increase the security and social participation to bridge the societal divide among different groups in society. Other than that, it has several innovative related to MBOS, which is UTC, that are one-stop shop in major cities that provide a wide range of important public services in one accessibility place, and RTC are designed to bring new economy, social and access to education to rural residents while also enhancing the quality of life. Other than that, MBOS has improved the national ability to protect and transform itself, and it has been stated that MBOS must be carried out in combination with national development. For example, XPDRM, military and JPAM all operate together for the people's safety, and numbers of MBOS activities are aimed at empowering women, youth and families in the country and caring for their well-being. For example, the Community Perwani One Malaysia program promotes women's unity by established networking that allows women to obtain information and interact through volunteers, social support and commercial platform. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening, and Assalamualaikum.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nahidwani binti Rahman. I will explain to you about the Government Transformation Program. Okay, on January 28, 2010, our Prime Minister Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Muhammad Najib bin Tun Haji Abdul Razak unveiled the Government Transformation Program (GTP). The GTP has 6 national key resort areas, but on 2011, the GTP has become 7 national key resort areas. The issue is based on the most pressing issues of the rakyat: reducing crime, combating corruption, improving student performance, raising low-income household living standards, improving rural basic infrastructure, and improving urban public transport are among them. The whole initiative is predicted on the government commitment to One Malaysia People First, Performance Now policy. The objective of GTP is to coordinate initiative, to monitor initiative, and to reporting initiative. As I told you before, there is 7 national key resort areas. Number 1, addressing the cost of living of the people. Initiative taken in effort to reduce the burden of the people include expanding the provision of One Malaysian People Aid, WIM, RM100 school aid to each student, abolition of school fees, food aid and textbooks loan, school bus insurance, One Malaysia book vouchers, opening of more farmers markets to rakyat satu Malaysia, as well as direct sales from factories to ensure reasonable prices for food product and basic necessity as well as other assistance to ease the living burden of the people. Number 2, improving the living standard of low-income household. The NKRA on improving the living standard of low-income household has made the most progress toward its goal of closing the gap between the wealthy and the poor. More than simply moving impact families into higher income brackets, the NKRA project set the way for the start of new cycle of improved quality of life for poor and extremely poor countries. To ensure the effective assistance and support can be provided to low-income households, the IKASE program, the only specialized database to monitor and manage this household, has been established. An extension of the IKASE program is Satu Azam and the Poor Age program, which focus on providing economic opportunities that can increase the productivity capacity of low-income households to free them from this category of poverty in a strong and sustainable manner. Number 3 is improving rural basic infrastructure. Programs to improve rural infrastructure, more than 3,300 kilometers of roads have been completed. More than 1.4 million families have been given with clean water, and more than 470 households have been assured access to power as a result of this effort. In addition, the government has built or rebuilt 43,000 residents for the underprivileged in rural areas. Over 266,000 houses, or over 1 million people, are affected. Indeed, the NKRA programs have improved the life of about 4 million Malaysians who live in rural areas. Number 4, improving student achievement. Every Malaysian child will get the start of learning as early as possible in their life. Through Malaysian education, aspire to enhance student results and provide quality education to all children across the country. Improving student accomplishment is critical to creating human capital and producing a workforce that will help Malaysia realize its goal of becoming a high-income developing country by 2020. To increase Malaysian living condition, we must ensure that everyone has access to high-quality education. Number 5 is improving urban public transport. Construction projects are now underway, particularly the LRT and MRT extension project. The inclusion of KTM trains, the Go KL bus service, which provides free travel, and the implementation of the passenger information system, which provides users with a better view of the waiting time before the bus arrives, are all efforts that have already been implemented. Number 6, the NKRA refers to the Anti-Corruption Initiative. The national key result to fight corruption among the things implemented by the government is to establish a compliance unit that will monitor the behaviour of officers in the key enforcement agency, namely the Royal Malaysian Police, Immigration Department, Royal Malaysian Customs Department, Road Transport Department and MACC. Number 7 is reducing crime. A country that is on the verge of progress like Malaysia has need to be in a state of peace and tranquility, away from all forms of threats and crime. However, in any country in the world, total crime prevention is unlikely to be achieved. Certainly, there are time to time events that are difficult to avoid happening. To that end, the government has identified the crime reduction NKRA and divided into 3 parts. Street crime, public safety, improving the performance of enforcement agencies.
Alright, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Natasha binti Astia from AM 1104A. Alright, in my part, I will explain the third political development during the administration of Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak, which is One Malaysia. What is One Malaysia? One Malaysia is a concept proposed by the 6th Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak, on 2 April 2009. The idea of the nation, regardless of ethnic, sub-ethnic or cultural diversity, lies at the heart of this concept. To realize it, all parties must work together. It is a continuation of the vision of 2 previous leaders such as Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi in the country's effort to achieve Wawasan 2020 and become excellent, glorious and distinguished. Alright, next, I will explain the relationship between the One Malaysia concept and previous government policy. It's a continuation of the two previous concepts of the Prime Minister, and this is not a new response. In terms of politics, this concept must be genuine and encompass various political perspectives of the country. The opposition and the administration not only need to work together to make this ideology work, but they also need to put aside their ideological and political differences. Alright, Dato Sri Najib faced a full challenge from groups with different ambitions, goals and political types. First, an organisation that aims to build Malaysia supported by opposition and many BN component parties. Second, the organisation that groups that establish a theocratic state backed by opposition parties that began using the slogan Islam for all. Alright, the third group that want a Malay status to continue, fighting to ensure that social contract and the Malaysian constitution continue to be upheld. Okay, last but not least, opportunist groups, those who like to take advantages of any situation. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Now, I will conclude the political development during the administration of Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak as a Malaysia Prime Minister. Dato Sri Najib Razak has faced a real challenge of his ability to preserve in the face of internal and external challenge. To be fair, he must inherit several unresolved problems from the previous administration. As a leader with a specific mission and the best interest of country, he has launched a number of initiatives to help the country out of its economic slump and to bring Malaysians together despite difference in race, religion and language. By encouraging people to work together to solve problems, he is changing people's attitude toward being more responsive rather than waiting for something that will happen. I will take one political development during the administration of Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak as example, which One Malaysia. Through One Malaysia, because everyone belongs to the same race, the Malaysian race will share the same goals and aspirations for the country's programs. In order to build a coherent national race in a multiracial country like Malaysia during this age of globalization, we must allow for the free and rapid movement of not only information, capital and people, but also value system, culture and belief from different countries. Integrity, ability and dedication and loyalty are all traits that must be shared if a national race is to be formed. As a result, all Malaysians must adopt One Malaysia essential ideas, which first fosters solidarity and a sense of belonging in order for it to be a resounding success.